Hey, this is Hatstack Mike, and this is a Hatstack Chat. This is a new type of video, more podcast-like video, where it's unscripted and it's just chatting about stuff. And I have with me here Jason Berry from the Sonic Stadium, who got to play Sonic Superstars at Summer Game Fest.
Hello, how you doing, Mike?
I'm great, how are you doing?
Doing fine.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for doing this, and I am excited to talk about Sonic Superstars because I am excited for that game.
Cool. Yeah, I did get to try it out. I had to take a long road trip to LA from over here in Portland all the way down to LA. I managed to do it in one go. I didn't.
Nice.
And that was a little tough though, because I had to get up at like 6:30 in the morning, and I got to my motel at 11:30 at night.
Oh man, that is.
So I was wiped out, but that ended up working out good because I was only scheduled to play the game on Saturday, but I wanted to pick up my press badge on the Friday. So I decided to go there, and I asked them, hey, is it okay if I, record footage of the game and everything? And they approved that. So I'm like, okay. So I did that for, Sven, who's it's probably Dreadnux, who's our lead at Sonic Stadium.
Yeah.
And so he was extremely happy with that because we had some of the first gameplay footage outside of the trailer, along with one of the first people to have the intro.
Nice.
As well, at least in full screen.
Yeah.
So that ended up working really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's talk about the game. First off, the gameplay. How did that feel?
Surprisingly, really good. I mean, people are, it's a 3D polygonal version of the original 2D classics, and it actually does feel exactly like those, like almost one-to-one, closer than even Sonic Generations was to that.
Oh, that is good to hear.
So yeah, the momentum, gravity, the inertia, all feels really intact and everything.
Yeah, that's great because I love the classic, that momentum, just spinning down those hills and just launching yourself off and all that.
Yeah, and of course everybody has their own style of gameplay because you got all four to choose from. And they didn't have any multiplayer available to show, so I didn't really get a chance to do that. I think with multiplayer, the camera pans out further because it was zoomed in right with your character front and center during the single-player gameplay. And Sonic plays like Sonic. He's got the drop dash and the spin dash and all that. Tails, plays just exactly like Tails. Knuckles, the jungle level, I saw a wall as soon as I started the game, a wall to the left of me. I climbed it. I got off it and glided like halfway past the entire level. So
nice.
His physics work out well. And Amy's the new one, and she's got some pretty cool moves. She's got a double jump in which she spins with her hammer still twirling, so it kind of acts almost as a shield. And I don't know if it was I was trying to do a drop dash because my friend Knuckles87 asked me to test out her physics in that, so I tried to do it as a jump dash, and when she drops down from a double jump, she's running full speed forward, smashing her hammer for a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen that. It looks pretty cool. Kind of like her own version of the drop dash in a way, where it's just like hammer smashing.
It's knocked down any robots that are in the way.
Alright, so gameplay sounds awesome. Let's talk about the visuals, the graphics and animation and stuff.
They look pretty solid. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. I mean, it's basically like almost a Sonic version of New Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's visually eye-popping. It's HD, and it looks pretty solid. There's nothing I can say that's where it was like too impressive. It's almost like the backdrops you see in Sonic Origins as far as the graphics go. It has that kind of look to it, so nothing too special. I will say the jungle level with the vines and everything did remind me quite a bit of the one from Sonic Rush.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit.
Leaf Storm,
there's sliding down those giant vines, and there's other vines you can like pull on, and then it'll leap you forward. You've probably seen some gameplay video of that. That can be a little tricky. It does feel like really good platforming in that spot because they're pulling on, it's shooting you forward, then you have to make sure to aim as you're dropping back down to grab onto the next one to get further in.
Yeah, from the trailers I've seen, that part looks really cool. I'm excited for that jungle level.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and moving on, the level design looked pretty good from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's a lot less automated than a lot of 2D Sonics you've seen.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah, like I said, as far as physics and everything goes, this is not Sonic 4.
Oh, thank God.
Sonic 4 Episode 2, nothing like that. It's much, much closer to the original gameplay design. And a lot of people are saying it plays similar to Sonic Mania, and I'll probably agree with that.
Yeah.
The one thing that felt a little off is when I was playing the Bridge Island, I think it's called.
Yeah.
As you're running forward, there's a section that's kind of a half pipe in the background that you can curl up and then go down on. But for that, you in the old ones, you naturally, if there was like that little half pipe and you're going full speed, you just naturally curl up and then go back down. But here you have to control that, so you can go up higher and higher if you wish to. So you have to press up on the D-pad to do that. So it's a little, I mean, once you get used to it, it's fine, but it's a little hard at first. There are some interesting things, like there's those tunnels you'd normally smash through and then they'd spin you around to another area. In this case, there's some that just spit you right back out. They block it. There'll be like 3 or 4 paths of these tunnels, and you have to find out which one's the right one for you. And it's similar to Chemical Plant Zone in that you're trying to take the right area to get out of. That one's pretty cool.
Interesting.
And there's also like little shortcuts if you're using the powers, which we'll probably talk about in a little bit.
Yeah.
Unless you want to talk about it now. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's talk about the Emerald Powers. So, yeah, I've seen the water one a lot.
Yeah, the water one's pretty cool because that'll offer shortcuts. It turns you into water, and you can jump up waterfalls or anything. I think dealing with water, and gives you shortcuts there. There's 2 ways to go about it. You can select powers by either using the right thumbstick, or if you're just doing digital, or maybe if you're just using the Switch Joy-Con or something. I think that's probably why it's like this. You can also use the L and R triggers to select these powers. So there's 2 different alternatives. The other one is the Avatar one, and that allows you to have an army of doppelgangers of yourself to do a big attack on some of the bosses in that. And I used it on one. I think the way they got this set up is they give you them both at the same time, but probably in the natural point of the game they give you a bit more in advance, because when I used it on the first boss, it just blew him away instantly.
Yeah.
And I had no problems.
Yeah, I gotta say, when I first saw that, like, I instantly thought of Naruto. I was just like, Shadow Clone Jutsu! And just, that's right where my mind went. But that looks really cool.
Yeah, and I've also kind of mentioned the level design on the jungle zone. It's just, like I said, similar to Sonic Rush in a lot of ways. A lot of sliding. Still a lot of areas you can find off the beaten path depending on who you're using and how you're using in that. Which is what I also feels like the classic gameplay is, that there are so many little alternate routes you can take. They're very large levels with both vertically and horizontally.
That is good to hear. I love classic level design. And alright, let's talk about the music. I have heard very varying things about this online, so
it's kind of hard because I'm not 100% sure if it's not placeholder in there. If you see videos from GameStop and everything, or GameSpot, they're using placeholder from Sonic 4 Episode 2.
Yeah, that scared me.
When I was listening to it, they gave me these headphones that didn't go very loud, so it wasn't easy to hear the music very well. But it did sound like new music I hadn't heard before, but it was just okay. It was just kind of, it was music that fit the theme of the level, but it wasn't anything special. Nothing like T-Lopes does, or anything like that.
Yeah, which ironically T-Lopes is confirmed to be on the soundtrack. So
yeah, interesting. I don't think Jun Sano's on this too.
Yeah, it's T-Lopes, Jun Sanoe, and I think just unnamed Sega sound staff. So
yeah, I wouldn't take my word for it right now because, like I said, I could only hear it, and it was very quiet compared to everything else. So I'd have to hear it in full blast to really judge it, but it wasn't blowing me away or anything.
Okay, but it wasn't Sonic 4 music that you heard, right?
No, it wasn't Sonic 4 music.
That's good.
It does have a retro feel to it, but it's not like Sonic 4 retro feel.
That's a good sign, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see. Sonic games are known for having good music, so I'm fairly confident in it, and there are exceptions, like, as we keep saying, Sonic 4, but we'll see how it turns out. All right, and what do you think about Fang returning? I didn't see that coming.
That's cool, because I loved him in Triple Trouble and the other ones. Now, here's the thing, is that it seems like they've kind of done away with the name Knack the Weasel from the American Game Movies. They're calling him Fang a lot more. Takashi Iizuka's calling him Fang, and I think they're calling him Fang in the press events and stuff, so it looks like that's going to be his name from now on. It's kind of interesting, it's like the Dr. Robotnik Eggman thing.
Yeah.
It was Fang, and then it was in Japan, and then it was Knack over here, and now looks like they're sticking with Fang. But there was nothing of him in the game demo at all, but it's cool that they're bringing him along.
Yeah.
Now he seems to have a sidekick called Trip.
Trip, the new character. He looks interesting. Like, it's hard to tell, but it looks like it's an animal, maybe in robot armor.
Yeah, he's an animal in armor, because you can see he's got a bushy tail at one point.
Okay, yeah. I am curious to see.
I think he's a raccoon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I feel like at one point there's going to be like a Meta Knight moment where like the armor just comes off and you see this cute little thing.
I'm wondering if they're going to use him as like a fifth playable character or something, because if you look at both the title screen and the end of the intro, everyone's positioned in a certain way. You got Knuckles and Amy on the bottom, Sonic in the middle, and then Tails over the far left, so it leaves an open space on the far right.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
So I think they're planning DLC for some time down the line.
Yeah. Man, I wonder
who, because there's not a lot more classic Sonic characters outside of maybe the Chaotix, so that'd be
that would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm kind of open for Metal Sonic myself, just because I'm a huge Metal Sonic fan, but I don't know how that would fit in the story.
No.
But yeah, going back to Fang, I grew up calling him Knack because I had Sonic Triple Trouble, but I think Fang sounds cooler. When Dr. Robotnik first started being called Eggman here in the United States, I was like, oh, that's weird. He's Robotnik. But no, with Fang, I'm instantly like, yeah, he's Fang.
Yeah, he's also got that prominent Fang on his
face. And as someone who grew up with Sonic Triple Trouble, and that game is super special to me, I am so happy to see him back.
Yeah, they did that in 16-bit. I actually got that, the one programmer from Sage did that in 16-bit. I got that on my phone. I use I use this, what's it called? A Backbone, I think it's called, the controller. They have a PlayStation version in that. It plays anything on your Android or iPhone. Can use controllers. It plays them perfectly. I really recommend it. They are pricey though, like $99, but I use that for Triple Trouble 16-bit, and it works fantastic. Yeah, so I got to play it for about like a half hour. I was trying everybody just to see how everything works out. I did notice, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like Tails has an easier time hitting Robotnik while he's flying in that.
Okay.
Yeah, any point he's flying and they touch his tails, it instantly kills them. Yeah. And floating down, I think as long as it hits his tails while he's floating down, it'll destroy the Bandit too. Where usually it'll hurt him or damage him. Yeah. Okay, so Tails might be a bit more of an easy mode then, which I guess he was created to kind of be in a way. Right. So. But yeah, as far as the 4-player goes, there are some suspicious stuff that makes it look like there might be some 4-player. Like eventually you run into these little boxes where you just pull down on them and you get some rings. And you collect rings. I think that's a competitive nature for the multiplayers, collecting extra rings. Yeah, I'm curious to see. There was one part that was kind of unexplainable. I don't know how it happened. I was running real fast and suddenly there was a little warp portal that opened up. And there's one that opens up usually when you go through the the goalposts, the checkpoints, and there's a bonus stage there. This one is just opened up in the middle of nowhere, and I go into it, and it has me bouncing through the sky collecting rings for a short time, and then it just drops me back off after that. So I'm thinking like collecting rings is part of the competitive part of the multiplayer experience. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see more of that co-op. I think it was just recently confirmed that it's going to be split screen, which I was kind of wondering, because if you're going to try New Super Mario Brothers style, where there's only one screen that everyone has to follow for Sonic, that would just be crazy. Yeah, especially for the high-speed stuff. Yeah, if there's they must have to do split screen for that. Yeah, because if there's that floating bubble stuff, there'd just be constantly floating bubbles characters everywhere. You have to pop help me, help me. Yeah, there was 2 other bonus stages I got to try. The first one is just, it's kind of a 3D-ish one where you're kind of swinging on like a laser, almost like a Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
And there's two different types. You're either collecting an emerald or you're just collecting these medals that are scattered throughout the game. There's a lot of medals collecting too, and I think that's also part of the competitive thing, but I think that might be used for leveling up your character or something, possibly, because besides rings, I don't know why we'd have these giant medals if they weren't for something else. But yeah, that one's pretty easy, but it can be tricky. You're trying to swing over to the emerald that's just kind of floating out in space, but you can end up grabbing on and swinging away from it by accident, or hitting these little spring pads that'll launch you towards it, and you're collecting rings along the way.
Okay.
But those were fairly easy. The other one, which is the ones you hit with the gold post, are the spinning maze ones, very, very similar to the ones in Sonic 1.
Yeah.
Only with a new twist in that you're trying to get all the medals, and you keep getting more and more mazes. They come forward towards you, because what you have to do is while you're spinning around, you got to dodge these little red triangle like spike things, because that'll end your bonus level instantly like it would in the first. Instead, you have to hit these triggers marked with a huge T, and it'll flip over part of the stage so the red spikes just become walls, and you can go through it, and you can find the medal, and then it'll jump you to the next maze, and there's usually like 4 mazes within that one bonus stage, and they become harder and harder. I had a really good time with them, because the first time I died right away, the second time I survived pretty good, and the next one, which was a harder stage, I was really sweating it, but I just managed to finish it off, and I really enjoyed that. So I don't know if there's any more bonuses stages out of those 3, but they're pretty good. I really enjoyed them.
Cool. Yeah, those sound really cool. Especially, like, I will admit, I am not the hugest fan of the Sonic 1 special stage, so...
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. I wasn't a fan, too. This kind of made me a fan. I was enjoying them this time around.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to try out the 3D, like, Spider-Man, like you said, Type 1, swinging on, like, was it, like, energy beams or something?
Yeah, it looks like they give you an energy tether, and they have you press and hold down the first time, and then from there on, you kind of just letting go and then swinging, kind of like a Spider-Man kind of thing.
That one sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Alright, so, any overall final thoughts?
Nothing too much. Like I said, it's not like Sonic 4 or even Sonic Generations. It really feels natural, like it's almost one-on-one to the classic games, which has got me real excited to it. It's interesting that they're not going with the $39.99 price tag this time. It is a $59.99 game. But, so is new Super Mario Brothers and Metroid Dread and all those, and they're all 2D. And I'm imagining that means it's going to have quite a lot of content to justify this.
That's what I'm thinking too, yeah. I've seen a lot of arguments that just 2D games aren't worth $60, and I completely disagree with that. I think they can be worth it. I think they can also not be worth it, but if good quality content is there, then it is totally worth it. And I'm hoping for that with Sonic Superstars. And so far, it's looking really good, I think.
Yeah, it is looking pretty spectacular. I am surprised how well everybody plays on it.
Yeah, that is good to hear, because, trailers can be deceiving, but actually hearing good impressions is a really good sign, I think.
Right, there are times when you're, rolling down here and then launching up, and you do feel that bit of momentum. There was one time I was doing Amy, and I did that drop dash where she's going real fast, and like in Sonic 1 or 2, she ran pretty much off the screen to the right for a second, and the camera had to catch up with her, so that was really cool.
I love that outrunning the camera feeling. Alright, well, I think we got a pretty good overview on your impressions with Sonic Superstars. It sounds like it's going to be great, and I am super excited. Thank you for being on, and is there anything you'd like to promote? Maybe a certain Sonic fan site?
Yeah, you'll find my full-length and even more detailed preview on sonicstadium.org, and you can check out the gameplay videos I recorded on our YouTube channel on Sonic Stadium as well. You can check out our message board, so you can see people talking about this game and the comics and everything else.
And yeah, I'll be sure to have a link in the description so you can check it out. Alright, well, thanks for listening, and have a hat stacking good day.